Hi guys, I'm this guy here with the 4.5 hour DVD on BJJ Fanatics. I've been teaching MMA and martial arts and self-defense and studying self-defense my entire life, including handguns and ballistics. And today we're going to get into 45 AARP, 45 ACP. You're a manly man or experienced, and you have picked the 45. There's good reasons to do so, and I will get into actual ballistics data, tissue crush, compare it to 9mm, and what are the best loads. Now, 45, you have to be really careful about barrel length. There's pretty much only 6 loads that are awesome no matter what your barrel length is. There's a few that are good lower recoil choices if it's a short barrel or if you need lower recoil. And there are a few loads that work really, really good from a 5-inch barrel, but not at all from less than a 4.25-inch barrel. So barrel length is very important. Guys, this is real world. Evan Marshall's data. One-shot stops isn't the best because of, what that really means. The probably means just the attacker was a weakling psychological stops. But if you look at 45 compared to like 9mm, what you see is the 11 top rounds do really, really good, 88 to 96%. And the top 8 rounds do really, really awesome, 91 to 96%. So if it's in the top 11 here, pretty much those are going to be good to go rounds. Pay attention. Even the Gold Saber 185 grain. Personally, I really like the 185 plus P. That is my second choice. This was before HSTs. A 230 grain HST is my top choice, and we will get more into that. But if you can find one of the top 11 rounds here, real world, they worked, so those would be good to go. Now, if you compare that to the top rounds in 9mm, most which were plus P or plus P plus, those were 88 to 91%. So if you look at the top rounds in 45, it goes 91 to 96%. Important to know. If you're a brand new shooter, guys, you probably want a 9mm, not a 45, unless you're like a 225 pounder up, a bigger guy that can handle recoil. It's not that much more recoil people think it is. It really isn't if you actually look Chuck Hawks, but it is a bit more because of the heavier grain bullets. Now this is Ellifritz's data, alternate look at handgun stopping power. If you compare this to 9mm, yes, only a little over 2 rounds to incapacitate someone, and one-shot stop percentage is higher than 9mm. And actually percentage actually incapacitated by one shot is higher than 9mm. Now, a lot of times this is felons that only use ball ammo, so keep that in mind. That skews things quite a bit. 2.45 versus 2.08 for incapacitation. One shot stops 34%. Accuracy was better in 45 versus 9mm. Spray and pray, that does tend to happen in higher capacity firearms and people less trained. So keep that in mind. Percentage hits that were fatal, 29% in 45 versus only 24% in 9mm. That data is useful because it tells you that 45 on average is doing more tissue crush, causing more blood loss, which is why people expire typically, unless it's a central nervous system hit or, brain hit. So, most important data, guys, is real gel data by Vista or Hornady. Real gel, clear ballistics is not real gel. Real gel is what really, really matters. Heavy clothing is what really, really matters. You say, well, I live in a warmer area. People don't wear 4 layers of heavy denim or heavy clothing as they changed it. That's because skin and tissue in the human body is that tough. Bullets pulled from bodies look like heavy clothing testing. They do not look like clear gel testing, even if the guy was naked. That's just the way it is. So heavy clothing is what matters primarily. We see that gold dots and HSTs, especially HSTs, do phenomenally well because of much greater expansion and even deeper penetration than the gold dots. Now, you would think that all these gold dots do well, but real world data says avoid the 200 grain. Even the 200 grain plus P has way more energy than their 185, even greater velocity at a higher bullet. On paper, 200 do well. In reality, there's very good statistics. It does not. Failures in law enforcement shootings, which we'll get to. This is the FTX, the critical defense. In real gel data from Hornady, that performs surprisingly well even from a 3-inch barrel. 13.75-inch penetration, 0.66 expansion. That seems great, though if we look at multiple rounds and Lucky Gunner and ammo to go, it gets some failures that we'll get to. But if you needed an older guy with arthritis nowadays, he needs lower recoil, 185 grain options, DPX or critical defense are potentially good options, though some may fail. Now we look at the 220 plus P critical duty. That would probably be my third choice ammo selection, or for backup magazines. 14.5 inches of penetration, that's great, with 0.69 expansion, that's great. So 220 plus P critical duty is a very, very good round, and it might feel better. Guys, 1911s are very picky unless they're broken in and you are higher quality. You got to know some 1911s will not function with HSTs, but they will function with critical duty, or they will function with Gold Saber because of the smaller profile of the hollow point. This is Dr. Gary Roberts. Anything on this list is basically good to go. In my opinion, the 185 TAC XP or XPB bullets or DPX bullets, whatever they're called from each manufacturer, they penetrate a little on the low side for me and have some failures if we look over at ammo to go or Lucky Gunner, even in clear gel. But he said they were good to go, and I have other data backing that up, but I would question it. You might want to stick with the 230 grains. Other than the Gold Saber 185 plus P is definitely good to go, in my opinion, even from kind of shorter barrels. Look at the HST doing amazing expansion. So guys, Tissue Crush. Tissue Crush, let this focus in. The bestest cheap 9mm hollow points are in the low 3s if they don't veer off a bone and don't fail to expand. The best 9mm hollow points 3.8, 124 plus P HST, 124 plus P gold dot is at 4 cubic inches of Tissue Crush. If you look at an HST 230 grain, 8.025 over 8 inches of Tissue Crush, meaning that an HST 230 grain has 2.11 times, over 2 times more Tissue Crush than a 124 plus P 9mm HST. That's reality, over 2 times more. You would need 2 shots of 9mm with the best ammo, guys, only with the best ammo to equal 145. If we're talking ball, 9mm ball sucks, 380 ball sucks, 9mm Makarov ball sucks, 45 ball history tells us doesn't necessarily suck, and it's kind of equal to cheaper 9mm hollow points, 2.89 inches cubic inches adjusted volume of Tissue Crush, 62% more 45 ball compared to 9mm ball. So even if you get a cheaper 45 hollow point, the saying is 45 doesn't shrink. That ain't FUD lore. That's true. A 45 isn't going to shrink. It's not going to fail to expand. It's not going to ricochet off bone like cheap 9mm hollow points sometimes do. This is Dr. Gary Roberts showing you how awesome the critical duty is. Farther penetration, little less expansion than the HSTs. HSTs whopping expansion. That's why HSTs are number 1. Gold Saber 185 plus P, number 2 in my opinion. And it depends on barrel length as well, guys. And critical duty 220 grain plus P is awesome. Would be number 3. This is 4-layer denim. Look at the non-expansion in the looks great in the bare gel. Does not look great in 4-layer denim. This is that 200 grain plus P gold dot, and he talks about not recommended for law enforcement duty. This load demonstrated numerous failures to expand in both lab testing and actual officer-involved incidents. It also has feeding issues in a variety of 45. So 200 grain gold dots avoid failures and feeding issues, etc. Winchester Rats, Ranger T type, Winchester Ranger Talons. It totally did not expand in 4-layer denim, even though they sent him the newer ones that were supposed to be better. It still failed to expand. He's talking about don't trust this, and usually he tested in 4 1/4 or 5-inch barrels. 45 and less than 4 1/4 inch barrel, guys, is really particular. There's only 6 loads that if you look at Lucky Gunner that are really good to go. So 45s, you have to be really particular. Now, Lucky Gunner was a 3.64 inch car barrel, and Ammo to Go was in a 4.5 inch barrel. And you see in Ammo to Go's data, much better in Ammo to Go. Sorry, that was 40 caliber. I apologize, guys. So here's 45 with a 3.64 inch barrel. You see it's not uniform penetration in a lot of rounds. XTP plus P doing good, critical duty doing good, but you see a lot of over penetration or under penetration or not good penetration. And remember, this is clear gel. Rangers, guys, Winchester ammo, basically all Winchester 45s, I want to use less than 4 1/4 inch barrel. They probably do well in 5-inch barrels, but in less than 4 1/4, like here at 3.64 inch barrel car, it's just not good. And then you get to the Ranger T. This is clear gel, so in real gel, I think that is too narrow expansion. And I've seen enough testing when it's clear gel or 1-layer t-shirt. Real world, if you're in warmer weather, overexpands and doesn't penetrate enough. So in clear gel, it doesn't penetrate enough versus 4-layer. 4-layer, it may be good to go from longer barrels. Here we see the HST doing its awesomely good stuff with nice permanent stretch cavity over a long period of time. HSTs rock, HST 45s rock even more than 9mm HSTs. Again, if you can shoot it accurately and quickly. Guys, here's the Remington Golden Saber. Look at this nice damage in each round penetrating far. That's what you want to see, is no failures. Here's the Critical Duty 220 plus P, all going very, very far. Not quite as much as the HST or the Golden Sabers, but farther penetration. So not as much damage up front, but farther penetration. Also a great choice in both Ammo to Go and Lucky Gunner, so I could recommend it. 45 plus P 230 grain XTP. 230 plus P XTPs were all doing very far, just like the Critical Duty. 18.4 inch average, 5-shot median average, almost 0.6 expansion, 0.59 expansion. They all opened up. They all penetrated deep enough. And surprisingly here, and I want to see more of this, and it probably is cheap ammo when it wasn't Ammo Gaiden, you might want to stock up on the Magtech 230 grain. It says bonded, 4 out of 5 expanded really well to huge diameters, over 7 diameters. So wow, the Magtech bonded 230 grain, no YouTubers have tested it, unfortunately, so I would pick others above it, but that might be a great choice. Spear Gold Dot Short Barrel is a great choice, no matter the barrel. You compare Ammo to Go and Lucky Gunner, and definitely if you have less than a 3.62 inch, in my opinion, we know Golden Saber works 3.64 inch barrels. We know for sure in all my research, HSTs expand 3.3 inch barrels, probably even 3-inch barrels, even a 720 feet per second. That's very low. HSTs will usually expand great from short barrels. The Gold Dot, the short barrel version, I would pick over the regular version by far. It's higher velocity in all barrels. So I don't know why the Gold Dots, they're really not good. The regular, look at 753. That's crappy velocity. It really is crappy velocity. And we see 2 rounds here. 1 failed in clear gel. 2 rounds would fail in real gel, possibly even 3. Keep that in mind, and I wouldn't use it in short barrels. If you need a low recoil option, we saw Hornady reported it did really good, but we don't know about multiple shots. Here's 5 shots in Lucky Gunner, clear gel. Ammo penetrates way farther in clear gel than real gel, but if you need a low recoil option, because arthritis or getting up there in age, the 185 critical defense may be good, but we're seeing, like in my opinion, what would be 2 failures in real gel out of 5. That's not awesome. Here is the Barnes TAC XPD. Now, Gary Roberts said it was good to go, but again, as a low recoil option, this is probably really good, but 2 out of 5, it met the criteria in clear gel, but clear gel is not real gel. 2 out of 5 here would have failed in real gel, in my opinion. We see from Ammo to Go with a 4.5-inch barrel, many rounds do better. So if you're carrying a lightweight Commander 4.25-inch, you're probably way better off. If you're carrying a Car CW 45, if you're carrying a 3.77-inch Glock 30 barrel, you have to be much more particular about ammo selection. Though having said that, again, 45s don't shrink. So even if you don't get hollow point expansion from a shorter barrel, it's still 45. Now, better 9mm expanded like 0.68. So that's better than a 45 ball. And 45 ball, you're going to have serious overpenetration concerns, whether that's through a human body or whether that is, home defense. You got family, you don't necessarily want 45 ball. Is it the worst thing in the world, though? Not necessarily. Here's HST proving how awesome. They all look like something you would want to make a girlfriend's earrings out of. Hey, there's an idea for you. Gold Saber 185 plus P, really good, and even the 185 did really good in the real world Marshall data. 230 grain plus P, if you could find it, that might be something good or something good to stock up on. 4 out of the 5 expanded decently, but not great, as you see there. I wouldn't feel underarmed with it, though. Spear Gold Dot short barrel from the 4.5-inch barrel did better than the regular and a way higher velocity, 865. So I don't know why they must use a faster powder in the short barrel. They should change their regular to the faster burning powder as well. If you look at the results here, comparing to the regular 230 grain Gold Dot, would I feel underarmed with 230 grain Gold Dot? Again, in longer barrels, no, in shorter barrels, I don't know. And even here in the 4.5-inch, this is clear gel. One of them would probably be a failure in real gel. Keep that in mind, even though it's 230 grain, even though it should have that momentum. Lower recoil option, probably, even though it's a plus P because it's 185 grain. Again, the TAC XPD, aka Barnes, aka Copper Hollowpoints. 1 out of 5 would probably be a failure in real world and real gel. Here, that's up to you. 4 out of 5. What is that? 80%? So as a low recoil option, though, that might be a way to go. Here is the Winchester Defended PDX1. From the longer barrel, they all did pretty good. One didn't expand, but penetration depth's good, and the 4 out of 5 expanded greatly. So as you can see there, what the expansion looked like. So guys, Winchester ammo, the better Winchester stuff, again, 4.25-inch or longer full-size government 5-inch barrel, okay. If you're carrying less than 4.25, which is a lot of carry 45s, you got to be real particular. HST is best, even in the shortest barrel. Gold Saber Plus P, we know, works from 3.64-inch barrel or longer, like a Glock 30 3.77-inch barrel. Critical Duty 220 Plus P, that's good to go. If you can handle the recoil, guys. If you can make fast, accurate shots under real battle conditions, real defensive gun use type conditions. If you can't, if you're not an experienced shooter, if you're not very good, you should probably be using a 9mm. That's the truth. Is 9mm just as good as a 45? No. Go ahead and look at the Real Vista data. Look at me telling you it's 2 times more tissue crush, and that's Real Vista, i.e. Real Federal, Real Gel data. Look at Paul we usually is using a full size, and even like Winchester weight bucks, cheap, old Walmart type stuff, did really good from a 5-inch barrel, but that doesn't mean it's going to expand from shorter barrel. Winchester ammo, basically, guys, only for the longer barrels, and then it might do really good, and even then, not as good reliably every round fired as like the HSTs, the Golden Saber plus Ps, the Critical Duty plus P, etc. And we saw really good from the 230 plus P XTP. Not as good expansion uniformly though. And Magtech, boy, YouTube testers. Maybe my friend Gun Sam. I don't think you've done it. I just did a search. You want YouTube testers? Test that Magtech 230 grain bonded, because boy, that looks good, and it's probably a cheaper round. There you go, looking at that. And short barrel gold dots better than regular gold dots. Higher velocity, better expansion, better penetration. So anyway, guys, please thumbs up, share, subscribe. You want to learn about 9mm vs. 45 and about ballistics? Look at my 4-part 9mm vs. 45 series. I've done 9mm if you want to look at 9mm. I've done 380 if you want to look at 380, and I have a video on why 380 and under sucks, and it really does. And look at street data and real gel and clear gel and everything else. Guys, look at my other videos. Please thumbs up, share, subscribe. And, if you are looking at a deadly force weapon to defend yourself, you really should learn some martial arts, combatives hand to hand. So go get my DVD on BJJ Fanatics. Thank you.